You're listening to the Bryan and Gina Show, the official podcast of LA Magazine. Here are your hosts, Bryan and Gina.
Hey, everybody. It is the Bryan and Gina Show, the official podcast of LA Magazine. I'm Gina Grad.
Oh, that makes me Brian Bishop.
It most certainly does. And we have a lot of show. Now, for anyone listening to this, of course, the Super Bowl is ancient history.
Not my heart, Gina, not my heart.
More than a week ago. But for Bryan and I, it is fresh, piping hot fresh. The
wounds are still fresh. Yes, they're still tending to our wounds.
That's right, licking them clean. He was from the Niners area of the country. I'm from the Kansas City area of the country, and I gotta say, first of all, we sat and watched the whole game like it was like we gave an S, which we did. I felt a little bad for the Niners.
I'm glad you did, because I felt a lot bad for the Niners too, and their fans. Nothing more upsetting, nothing more the salt in the wound, Gina. The Himalayan sea salt in the wound. Is going online and seeing all the new Kansas City fans reveling in their victories. Like, oh yes. You waited your whole life for this. You suffered and lost so many close ones just to finally reach the top of the mountain. God bless. And, speaking of God bless Taylor Swift. Mm-hmm. Finally, something goes her way. Something good happens for her. And she can, shed this cloak of misery and failure of her life over the last year or two and really enjoy like the spoils of victory. We Niner fans have had it too good for too long. It's time to spread it around and let others revel in the joy. So you're welcome is what I'm trying to say.
So you really had no thoughts or feelings about this game?
Other than that, no, I had no interest at all.
Yeah. And I actually...
Here's how serious I took the game, Gina. Made 0 bets on the game, as I normally am. I'm not the opposite. I'm normally spreading it around across all sorts of exotic prop bets. It makes the game fun. I had an actual rooting interest, so I'm trying to concentrate, trying to pay attention. Smart. And I don't know if that was smart or not.
Well, in retrospect, it was not smart, but it seemed like a tough beat because from the kickoff, Andy kept going, this is Gina. This is not going to be good. This is not going to be good for you.
For the first quarter, at least, the Niners were playing so well, and I'm like, wow, this if they get their shit together and stop making stupid mistakes and fumbling the ball, it's going to be a blowout. They're going to own this game.
Although I have to say, your Niners came out pretty hot in the cocky department. A lot of what's up? And I was like, okay.
I think that's par for the course for professional athletes these days. Yeah. But I didn't see anything that led me to believe these guys are overconfident.
Oh, yeah, they need to be knocked down a peg. I will say that for all of the bravado of the Niners for the first at least half of the game, Travis Kelce harnessed it at the very end when everybody was celebrating, when the confetti was coming down, and some would say made an ass of himself. Some would say that would have been the breakup moment with Taylor. Some would say it was just adorable. But I think he channeled his inner WWE wrestler. His inner
I think it's his future.
And I can't wait to see what path he takes when maybe football is no longer for him, because he has it in spades for professional wrestling, I think.
Well, good for him. He lands on his feet after a tough go of it. So happy for the Kelce family.
You're so upset, and I understand. But I have to say again, okay, let me just put this in perspective for you, because you're a fish in water, so you don't know what water is. Let me tell you what water is. Please. Water is growing up in the landlocked Midwest with very, very few things to celebrate and nobody coming to visit you on vacation. So no tourists flocking to the great bi-state area of Kansas City, Kansas and Kansas City, Missouri for any reason whatsoever. So the fact that the Royals have been, strongish, not lately, but in general, the Chiefs are going strong. It gives our people something to crow about,
Here's the worst part, Gina. In my history as a sports fan, this isn't even close to the worst. This isn't even close to the worst defeat on the championship level. You know what I mean? Like, Niners have lost Super Bowls in my lifetime. The Warriors blew a 3-1 lead against LeBron and the Cavaliers. I mean, we're talking like this might not, this is bad.
This doesn't even qualify.
It's not good, but I feel like when the dust is settled and the wounds have scabbed over, I will look at this as, should have had that one.
Understood. Just out of curiosity, if the Niners had gone to Vegas as a team and that left the Oakland Raiders, would you have become an Oakland fan?
It's funny. I actually, growing up, I was a fan. Speaking of, I think maybe the most devastating loss of my life was the iconic, you'll even know what this is, the iconic 1988 Dodgers victory with Kirk Gibson hitting the home run in the ninth inning of the Eckersley. Legendary sports moment. I had just turned 10. I was on the A's, a Little League team, so thus they were my favorite team because your Little League team is your favorite team.
Yeah, athletics.
And I lived and died. Not only that, the A's were awesome. They had Jose Canseco and Mark McGwire, and there was just the awesome local team. So I glommed onto the A's for a number of years of my youth. And 10-year-old balding Bryan watching this victory go the wrong way, as it were, was a real soul crushing coming of age moment.
You have persevered in the face of adversity time and time again. And I'm not even talking about health-wise. I'm just talking
about you can tell them over it.
Local sports teams. I will tell you who was the big winner. I don't know if you watched it, but we had it on simultaneously on two TVs that we could all see, the Super Bowl and the Puppy Bowl, which was requested by both myself and my stepson. Team Rough, an adorable upset over Team Fluff this year. Team Fluff took home the hardware last year.
Sure, it was all over social media.
It was huge. The referee had an assistant referee, this little teacup multi-poo named Whistle. I'm not a big pug person, but I think the MVP went to Peanut Pretzel, the pug. A really hard fought win, and a little bit of Duke on the field. They got that water bowl cam, which I really enjoy. And I'm telling you, the screens in our house were going off during the Super Bowl.
Did the Nickelodeon Slimecast make an appearance in your house?
No, but Nickelodeon will make an appearance in my weekend recap. Live and in person, so we should probably get to it because I know you have stuff going on too.
Yeah, indeed, and I never thought that Gina Grad would be bringing the hard hitting sports analysis to the show, but here we are. Oh,
and I'm sorry, did I forget to mention the bet that you had me make again, Bryan? And then I know if the Niners and the Chiefs go again, you'll be like, well, third time's a charm. And I'll just
indeed
just keep winning. So I've narrowed it down to a few restaurants in the Valley that I can't wait for you and Christy to come to. If we just want to do scenery, maybe we show you guys what Castaway is all about.
I don't know what is Castaway.
Oh, Bryan. I go for every special event in my life because it overlooks the entire valley. It's gorgeous. Casa Vega, always a favorite. If you want some down home, dirty, awesome, old school Mexican, which
Casa
is
Vega, lovely as a place, a rare valley haunt that we've been to. Perhaps that should take a lower priority.
Oh, okay. Kiwami Sushi. So many phenomenal sushi spots in the valley. We're kind of known for it. And I got to say, a little Easter egg into us talking about the food event from last week that was incredible. Casa Elena's in Woodland Hills. And that was the big giant pasta with the red sauce, the spicy pink sauce.
That was really good.
So, there's options, and we can't wait for you to host us for dinner.
I'm excited to make it happen as long as it's not on a Friday. And we are excited to come and join you for dinner at the restaurant of your choice. Perhaps make it a Twitter poll to see what the listeners think where we should go.
Great idea. And if you have any other suggestions, am I missing some wonderful places in the Valley? Please let us know at Gina Grad, at Bald Bryan on Twitter and Instagram, and just our names on Facebook. So we have a great guest today, and we're going to talk to her all about her career as deputy editor and writer, and talking about Giada De Laurentiis and all this great stuff. But we have some things to talk about from our weekend, and I'm dying to hear about what seems like a very special date you went on.
Oh, yeah, indeed. Well, I thought you were talking about you and me. That was a very special date.
Oh, yeah.
But you're alluding to the daddy-daughter dance that Tessa and I went on, also known apparently as the sweetheart dance these days.
Oh,
because there were a lot of moms there.
Yeah, sure.
So as not to exclude,
That I was actually wondering about that, because in this day and age, you can't guarantee that there's going to be one dad or one mom per household.
Her little friend of me last year had 2 moms, and Tess would often remind us, like, oh, the daddy's in your class, or whatever. He goes, so-and-so has 2 moms. I'm like, yes, she does.
Yeah, it sounds like the name of a children's book. So-and-so has 2 moms.
So-and-so.
Yeah.
Do you want to start with our date on Thursday?
I do. Sometimes you don't get enough credit for not having a heart replaced by coal, and I just can't wait to hear about this daddy-daughter date.
Okay, well, Gary's got a nice reel that Christy put together on Instagram. But yes, Tessa, there we are. There's me presenting her with a rose. It's pink.
Oh, what is she wearing? She looks amazing. She's in full sequins.
Sequins head to toe. Yeah, she got the green dress with a green sequin jacket and green pants on underneath. Gray sequin pants on underneath. Yeah. She is a self-style, as you can imagine. Mm-hmm. She had been sick with the cold kind of all week, just blah, you know what I mean? Like, not herself. And she actually came early from school on Thursday, and the dance is on Friday. So we kept her home on Friday. She rested. It was very important that she did, because it was going to be a long night. Yeah. We went to dinner at her favorite place, which is Guido's. It's an Italian place on Santa Monica Boulevard. Nice. Just right there by Bundy. And, she got her favorite pasta, the Angel's hair pasta, and Daddy treated her to dinner. It was lovely. We actually did Harry Potter trivia and all the fun stuff at the table. And then it was time for the dinner, or for the dance, I should say. And it was, the DJ was loud. There were a lot of, they made the mistake last year. It's in the multi-use room. It's in the auditorium. So, they made the mistake last year of letting all the girls, on the stage where they danced, which was lovely. However, it got a little out of hand. So this year, no kids allowed on the stage. Everyone was just, scattered about dancing. DJ was loud, playing some real club remixes of big hits. That was a problem for Tessa, because since last year, she has had her heart set on requesting a song. Oh. And she wasn't able to physically approach the booth. Yeah. And I was like, Tessa, just go this way. And I pulled off the tape, and I showed her where to go. Like, Daddy, no, we can't go that way. I'm like, I'm telling you can go that way. I'm telling you it's okay. And she's like, no, it's okay. And so we skipped the request. And later she was like, no, I have to wait 2 years to make my request. She wanted to hear, there's a song here where the song, there's a song, I don't even know how old it is. Gary might be able to look. It's called Good Times Together. And it's about a daddy and a daughter. I think the dad might be dead or gone or something.
Oh, that's great.
And the daughter's talking about I love when we used to eat pizza on the roof and ride bikes and all that. It's clearly for
Is this a country song?
No, not the version I know. It's by Marie Dietz. Yeah, 2018. So it's semi-recent. And she loves the song. We listen all the time. She requested it in the car on the way to and from the thing. And she wanted to request it. And the DJ, was too far away. So no request. So we took a picture at the photo booth, and we took a picture at the professional ring light picture.
Yeah, sure.
And honestly, after waiting in line for those, she came up to me. She's like, Daddy, I kind of want to go home, because she was, she had reached her expiration date. And
music I said, to my ears.
I said, great, can do.
And the other problem.
was that?
Yeah, go. Well, here's the thing: multi-purpose rooms are not made acoustically sound.
No.
So if you have that bouncing off those horrible, cold corners and the concrete, I wouldn't have been able to stay in that room.
On top of that, this is like a full-on theater or like amphitheater. Like there's seats fixed to the ground. So it wasn't really conducive to dancing, which is fine with me. I was like, oh, whatever. And then not for a lack of, when we got there, I saw minimum 3 little girls come up and give Tessa a big hug. Oh, you're here today. Great. But she just wasn't feeling it. And I was like, sounds good. Early bedtime sounds great. So bedtime it was, and that was the daddy-daughter dance.
I just had to squeeze that in before anything else because I couldn't stop thinking about it. Once Christy posted that, because you play things pretty close to the vest, I would have been live tweeting that. But when I saw your wife post that, I've been just sitting here counting down, waiting to hear about the daddy-daughter dance.
Oh, nice! Yeah, it was lovely. Honestly, spending time with my 7-year-old was the best because, as you know, they're on the she'll look for any excuse to be, Daddy, can I look at, she loves cake videos on Instagram. That's her thing, like watching cake getting decorated. Sure. Speaking
like mother,
of which,
like daughter.
Yeah, right. We'll get to that in a second. Yeah. Christy decorated some fine cakes. Actually, we ought to talk Super Bowl. Should we just look at the cake? Gary, can you throw the picture up there? Christy, the same night, went to a cake decorating class at the Peninsula Hotel in Beverly Hills. They provided the cake, which they'd already baked. Obviously, that would take several hours. But the class was on decorating the cake and piping and all that stuff. And Christy piped it herself, decorated herself, and then brought it home where she festooned it additionally for the no worries, Gary. Where she festooned it additionally for the Super Bowl, the party we were going to the next day. So it was a beautiful cake. And then we'll see pictures of this too in a second. She made football shaped whoopie pies.
Of course she did.
Yeah, they're awesome with the inside filling and the stitching and everything and frosting. It looked. I think more than one person asked her where she got them, like where she ordered them from.
The ultimate compliment.
Indeed, she actually said that. She goes, "I think the best compliment is when people ask me where I ordered it from." I'm like, "Yeah, it looks professional."
That is phenomenal. That is very Christy. I chop vegetables and I mixed sour cream with Anna Vocino's The Dill seasoning. So I understand what it's like to put time into cooking too.
The struggle.
Yeah, no, Christy is a baking genius. I do not bake. That is chemistry. Those are things that have to be done accurately. As the memes say, I sprinkle salt and garlic until the voice of my ancestors tells me to stop. So I don't know how to do baking, and I totally respect her for that.
Yeah, I think I sent Gary a picture of her actually piping those whoopie pies, and it's a real tedious labor of love because you're leaning over, you're hunching over these things with the, I don't even know, 1/4 inch piping to probably 1/2 inch.
Well, see, that's the thing. I would be good at that. You'd give me a task that I can repeat over and over again and like low stakes, and I'm in. But like, Gina, you make the whoopie pies. I'm like, I don't think that that's going to work out the way you think it's going to work out. So I'm very impressed with her as always. And I saw this cake, and our listenership and viewership over here on YouTube needs to see it as well because it's incredible. Okay. Should we Thursday date night it?
Yeah, we should. That was we're sending Gary in all different directions. But yes, let's talk the Best New Restaurants event hosted by LA Magazine for downtown, the California Market Center. Was that what it was? Downtown Market Center.
Yeah, the City Market Center. It was CMC, California Market Center. It's just an event space. It's just a giant floor plan. And they filled California Market Center. They filled the entire 10th floor with every incredible restaurant and cocktail and bar and everything good and pure and right and true in this world.
I'm really glad they did because I had told you during the event, Christy and I in a previous life had been to a number of these, and the space is needed. You know what I mean? Like there's 25-ish restaurants. plus alcohol vendors, plus, desserts and water stations and a lot of people. So you need that space.
And it was so great for so many reasons. I mean, obviously, because they've done it so many times, they dialed in everything perfectly. So yeah, plenty of room to walk around. You're not waiting. It's like, well, I would have loved to to taste some more restaurants, but by the time it was over, we'd only had 2 because the lines. Oh, no. They keep things moving. There were over 600 people there. It didn't feel like that at all. Everything was moving, plenty of room to move around and taste and talk. It was perfect.
It really was a well-run event. I was very pleased.
I cannot wait for next year. I'm already counting down because, like I said, I don't go to as many restaurants as you do. And now I can say I've tasted at least 25 of the best restaurants in Los Angeles, and I can tell you what their best dishes are.
Even going to as many restaurants as we go to, these are all 25 were new to me.
Oh God, they were so good. And if you want to see, I put together, because I'm really a strong editor. I tried my best. But if you want to see a little montage of Bryan and I eating our way through the event, you can go to my Instagram at GinaGrad and maybe on Bryan's. I don't know if you
I think I may have reposted it. I thought it was an excellent reel or whatever you
Thank you. I made a reel.
It was good.
Yeah, you can check that out. There's one of our
there we are.
Gary's playing it right now. That
was great.
We're gonna talk about that.
So we're gonna have our 3 favorite each, I think. Items. Maybe there's some crossover, maybe not.
Yeah, we don't know. We haven't talked about it.
True. I will tell you that the food there were no stickers in the bunch. Like everything was being good and great. So there's me.
It's so funny because there were 2 very good restaurants where, these offerings were caviar and filet mignon and, beef tartare, like Bryan's eating at this moment in the video. And just these incredible, just the things that wishes are made of. 2 restaurants dared to bring carrot dishes. And I said, well, that takes balls. And the carrot salad, the shredded Thai carrot salad that I ate, it was my first runner-up for my top 3. One of the greatest things I had there, because you got to really have a lot of faith in your carrot salad to say, well, I'm going up against all the best restaurants in LA. Let's bring carrots. And I am glad they did because that was wonderful.
I totally agree. I felt bad because to jog my memory, I took a picture of every booth and every food. So I was like, oh yeah, that was amazing. Oh, that was great. So I'm going back and I'm like, how do I choose just 3?
Yeah. So it's time. Do you want to give me your 3?
Yeah, Gary. So I'm going to, the order is going to be, from, hold on a second, from bottom to top. Yeah, sorry about that. I do have. Okay, yeah. Sorry, you don't know this. Gary, my 3rd place. Sorry, this is a great production.
Boy.
In 3rd place, you saw a picture of it on Gina's reel. Is eating the beef cones
tartare. Yeah,
the beef tartare cones. And is it Espelette?
It looks like Espelette Beverly Hills.
Got the Waldorf Astoria in Beverly Hills, which I actually have been to because they have a pretty awesome rooftop bar area, overlooking the whole city. Never been to Espelette. They were serving these little, I guess they were the size of a large battery, but they were like they were beef
maybe 3 inches.
Yeah, they were beef tartare cones, and they were awesome. They were so delectable, like so savory, and they were good for like 2 bites, and it was awesome. I really enjoyed the beef tartare cones that Espelette was serving.
And I took your word for it, and my girl Becky, who came with me, because I don't have the stones yet for beef tartare.
Is that all advanced?
It is too advanced for me. Becky, who knows my diet, as in my food history inside and out, I was like, Gina, I don't know if you're ready for beef tartare. So,
hey, shout out to your friend Becky, by the way, for doing the dirty work, often muling us food and throwing away a lot of our trash and Also, securing places in line. That was huge.
Becky was like our personal concierge. And yeah, she's my girl. Before I was married and when she was in a long-term relationship, we are husband and wife. I am the husband who I just do what she tells me. And it always works out for the best. So yeah, she was fantastic. Okay. Do you want me to give you one of mine?
Yeah, give me your number 3 if you want to start with number 3.
Yeah, we don't have to look at any pictures or vid. I'm just going to tell you, and you just saw it in the clip there. Casalena's vodka lumiconi. That was the spicy vodka sauce, ricotta, and pesto spice. And the reason in Yiddish, the word is puchki. It's puchki. It's geschmackt. It's just oozing with deliciousness and savoriness.
It's flavorful.
Soft. Yeah. Puchki is like a soft kind of gooey deliciousness.
It was really good.
Well, I looked up lumiconi because I'd never heard of that. That specifically, I guess a lumiconi is, in Italian, it's a large snail shell. Oh. So that's the pasta. The pasta are these giant snail shell shaped pasta. So you get one per cup, and it was a party in the mouth. And we may be going there for our Super Bowl bet.
I wasn't. That'd be a great choice. I was not prepared for it to be one large pasta piece because I dug into this thing and out comes a gigantic, like you said, snail shell shaped pasta, and I'm like, all right, when in Rome, YOLO.
When in Rome, take it all in, baby. Yep. So give me your second because I know we don't have a ton of time. We still have to talk a little more weekend.
No, this is worth it. The long line at Uchi in West Hollywood was worth it. Because they had what I think was like a crudo. They had that layered thing in the bowl that was as far as I can tell, tuna and citrus and some sort of like ponzu sauce maybe. I'm not an expert, but it was great. I think even you and Becky may have gone back for seconds.
We did. I'm going to skip ahead and spoil and say that was my number 1.
Oh, yeah, it was really good.
Because, well, they had, like something kind of like a poke bowl, which was great. But the showstopper of showstoppers was yellowtail, I believe, like hamachi, so thinly, beautifully sliced sashimi layered with a slice of orange. And this beautiful ponzu sauce, as Bryan said. And we just, you kind of you just go to these standing tables and chit chat with whoever's there. Well, there happened to be a food critic there. And he said, you must eat the yellowtail with the piece of orange. Don't eat them separately. Right. Thank God he told us, because the explosion of savory goodness and umami goodness came together with the citrus. And that was my number 1. So I couldn't agree more with that being on the list.
Nice. The most inspired, I think, or certainly the most surprising to me was I got up to the front of the line at Donna's in Echo Park, and they're serving cannolis and tiramisu. The cannoli, it turns out, is not a sweet cannoli, but in fact stuffed with, now correct me if I'm wrong, but it was stuffed with salmon, correct?
A salmon mousse.
Yeah, it was really, so they told me that and I'm like, really? I'm like, all right. I mean, I'm adventurous. Like, give anything a shot. And I tasted it and it was so savory and so good and made me forget all about sweet cannolis.
Yeah.
And the tiramisu was more or less traditional. I thought actually a kind of an eggnog, buttermilk kind of flavor to it. Yeah, it was great. It was a really nice pairing. I don't know when I'll ever make it over to Echo Park. So I'm so glad that a restaurant like Donna's was at this event and I was able to try the salmon stuffed cannoli and the tiramisu.
Yeah, that was my other runner-up honorable mention. It was literally like butter. It was like a perfect stick of butter shoved into every cannoli. And I mean that in the best possible way. It was so rich and smooth. And oh my God, it was incredible.
It was a nice surprise.
Well, I'll give you my number 2 since I gave you my 1 and 3. A sleeper hit, last minute buzzer beater. Bryan and I were done. We had thrown in the towel. We had meatballs and we had salads and we had desserts and we had everything you could possibly think of. Then, of course, Becky comes striding up with some chicken wings and chicken drumettes.
Oh, yeah.
Like, where do those come from? Oh, I don't think there's any left. I was hold my beer. So I ran over, got us some, took one bite into the crunchiest, juiciest chicken drumsticks and wings I've ever had in my life. That was courtesy of Didi, D-I-D-I.
I don't think I tried this.
Oh, Bryan.
This might have been the one thing I didn't try, and you said it was that good?
It was my second
terrible.
choice. Just
bad choice by me.
Crunchy and juicy and not oily or fatty, just like dry in the sense that it was not oily or greasy at all, but juicy and crunchy and perfect. Didi coming in hot with the drumsticks and the wings. It was just an incredible event. We can't thank LA Magazine enough for putting it on and for throwing us a couple of tickets and enjoying everything. And you do not want to miss this next year. Somebody said to me, damn, well, I don't live in LA. I said, you fly in for this. This would be really fun. This is
a good occasion. The fact that there's 25-ish, I assume, every year, like cool new restaurants, like is worth like making a trip.
Yeah, this is not. Yeah, this is worth the price. This is worth a flight. I mean, this is so much fun. The music was banging. The drinks were flowing. The food was being served up hot. Everybody looked great, a cool clientele, and just, I cannot wait for next year. So hats off once again to LA Magazine and their event.
Super well-run event. I enjoyed all of it. And same as you. Can't wait for next year.
All right. Well, I'll just, you have a couple other weekend things. I'll just hit you with mine.
Gary, let me just show the pictures of Chrissy's cakes. And there's the whoopie pies.
Oh my God. Wait a second. You're right. She did the lacing on each football. The piping on the whoopie pies is also designed. There's sprinkly sparkles around the icing, and she is hand piping each one that says SF on them.
With the serif on the S and the F. I'd also like to point out that Chrissy is dressed like a whoopie pie. She has like sparkle stripes on her arms. On her arms, she has sparkles. So I didn't realize that she was drawing inspiration from her own outfit.
Dressed like said whoopie pie.
There's the cake.
I love that.
So Tessa actually did the little beads on the S and the F. Yeah, she put them on with little food tweezers, which are just giant tweezers. But the cake was decorated completely by Christy.
So, from what I saw on Christy's Instagram, they taught them Victorian piping, which I did not know was a thing. Of course, Christy did a gorgeous job, and then, of course, made it even more gorgeouser with her SF, which I'm not offended by at all, because you're a San Francisco family, and that's what you're supposed to do. So, Indeed. Beautifully done, Christy Bishop. So I'll just go through a couple things I want a couple, people who are theme park enthusiasts and TV enthusiasts to know. We ended back up at Universal Friday evening, which is very normal for us. They closed early for an event at 6, so we only went on what I believe, besides the tram, are the shortest and the longest ride. But the picture that Gary has up right now, you guys need to go see this on YouTube. This is the brand new Power Up Cafe for all you Mario fans. This is on the main drag. Right as you walk in, there's like the little main street.
Sure.
So instead of going all the way downstairs and going into the full Nintendo verse and into the, Toad's Cafe, this is a little Power Up Cafe on the main street. It's very cute. They have little fizzy drinks with, little toys and prizes and popcorn and pretzels. Very simple, but for real Mario enthusiasts, of which there are aplenty, there's another little snack shop that you should hit up as soon as you go into the park. Maybe 100 feet in, whatever.
Nice.
We hit the Hippogriff, shortest ride in the park. Just the outdoor roller coaster, which is a lot of fun, and the Simpsons ride, which is among the longest and the best. We never go on it because the wait is so long. It's funny. Gary just put this picture up. We went to Antojitos, which is a great little Mexican place in City Walk. And again, you don't have to even go in the park to enjoy City Walk. If you feel like you're in an amusement park without the rides, it's great. It's fun. There's shops, there's restaurants. It's great. So we got home.
Like, in the sense of kind of like downtown Disney, where it's like, hey, if you just want to taste, literally, you can walk around downtown Disney and not have to bother with the park.
Exactly. So we get home and it's canoodle o'clock. Which the boy demands before he goes to bed, just some cuddling. And he goes, wait, this time, hold on. He had to get every Simpsons prize that my husband has won him upstairs by the Krusty Land stuff, with the basketball.
Yeah.
So the pillow that was underneath our heads is massive, like almost didn't fit in his bed. And that was the latest offering from Andy. But we got a pretty much life-size Principal Skinner. We got pillows. He wins him. He was trying to win him Groundskeeper Willie, quote unquote, life-size, but he was one basketball away. So he got the big pillow this time. But so we were gonna cuddle in bed and watch an episode of The Simpsons, but it was getting late, and we told the boy, hit the bricks. So Saturday, they had their basketball game. They didn't win, but I'm so proud of them putting up some sweet shots. Saturday, very uneventful day for me, but also very eventful. I spent most of the day working on my midterm paper for my sociology class.
Nice.
Yeah.
What's the midterm subject?
Oh, there's 3. I have to cover. They're light, though. I'll give the teacher that. They're you don't have to think too hard about these. The ethics of the death penalty, joblessness in the inner cities, and the fraud basically behind the theory of 6 degrees of separation. So light.
Well, I'm intrigued by the last one.
It's all these, you read these studies and you read these case studies and sort of take them apart. But it's a lot, man. I forgot the amount of work. Wow. And it's so funny because he doesn't know us, we're like, he doesn't know the online students, When he reads these papers, I have a sneaking suspicion he'll go, well, that's an angry old lady. Because he's like, do your citations in APA style or Chicago. And I'm like, I don't know what any of that is, but let me tell you about HUD and how I think we could utilize the urban housing development and help with the jobless. And he's going to go, who is this? Who's this woman who thinks she? So I can't wait to put a button on that and send that in.
Please share your grade when that comes out.
Well, I'm scared. It's out of 100. So far, I've gotten A's on all my quizzes, but I don't know. I mean, I've been out of the game a while.
This ought to be interesting, man. I'm more than a little curious.
I am curious too what he's going to think of this. So finally, Sunday, the kid's into Pokemon, man. He's into Pokemon. So he taught himself, because, they just want to trade the cards. They don't actually know how to play the Pokemon card game. He taught himself before I got up in the morning. He looked it up on YouTube. Taught himself how to play the card game, and then allowed me to play that with him for multiple hours. And do you know why I completely encourage this?
Please.
You know what you don't see on that table?
Drugs.
And screens.
Yes, you're right. Very tactile.
He loves his analog. He's into. I go, well, what are you going to do in your room? I just want to look at my cards. You do end up spending a ton when you buy so many of them, but packs are like $6 a piece. You get like 10 cards. He's loving it.
I get it. You're looking at a former card collector,
right?
Card collecting, professional wrestling, and Saturday Night Live were the biggest things in my young days, and so I respect the hustle. I respect the game.
You get it.
I will say that my daughter Tessa has borderline hostility towards the boys who do Pokemon.
All the girls do.
Yeah, she's like, one of those boys like a stupid Pokemon. Like,
she's right.
I don't know, Tessa. I really couldn't tell you authoritatively.
Well, I'm into it now because it gives us something to do together that he likes, and that's fine. He's been into PSA ratings. I assume as a baseball collector, you know what that is?
I do.
He was dying. He didn't care if it was Pokemon or otherwise. He was dying for a PSA rated card in general, just to set it. So Andy, they went to the card shop and got him 2 very reasonable.
I was going to say, just because they're graded doesn't necessarily mean they're worth a ton of money.
Low double-digit baseball cards, and he sleeps with them. I mean, he think that's the thing, because it's a PSA 8 or PSA for players he's never heard of. It doesn't matter. So that was pretty funny. 2 more picks. I was driving to the park here in the Valley.
Wow! Please tell me that's a homeless encampment.
Something tells me. You guys, seriously, we're
looking at the world's most elaborate treehouse.
You guys have to go and watch this on YouTube. I can't explain. I mean, this is.
It looks like something out of Harry Potter.
It looks like Harry Potter meets some sort of land pirate ship. I saw this. I'm assuming there's no zoning or HOA policies on this street.
Oh, you could live in that. You could rent that like on a permanent basis.
Like in this, I'd Airbnb it for a weekend. It's like a 3-story treehouse that you can't even get to the first story without going up these like windy spiral steps you can kind of see in the background.
Okay.
I just stopped and gawked at it. It's incredible. I don't know how
that's quite the construction. Yeah, quite the feat.
Yeah. So please come look at this. You think you know what we're talking about. I promise.
Where is this?
This is in Valley Village.
I don't know how to describe this. It looks like it looks as though a flood, like a tsunami came through and like washed a small backyard like a shack into a tree.
But it also seems safe. Like there's a whole staircase.
Yeah, it seems structurally sound.
It's just, you got to see it. You got to see it. It's very hard to explain. If people were in it, I just would have begged them to let me join. Anyway,
is that a relaxing deck situation up top?
I think so.
It looks like a crow's nest.
Yeah, but
I mean, like in terms of like pirate ship.
That's like your like rooftop deck. Literally,
that's amazing.
The roof.
Well done, whoever this maniac is.
I know. I couldn't move. I was just staring at this thing, so I can't wait to hear what you guys think. Finally, Gary, before you put up the picture, does your daughter, I'm sure she watches a lot of Nickelodeon shows.
No, never. Oh, sorry. I know, shooting on your point.
Okay, for everybody else listening whose kids are, have seen plenty of Nickelodeon, because in our house, boy, the bar has been set low.
Oh, really?
When I say you can watch, when he wants to watch TV, I say yes, but it has to have a beginning, middle, and end. And that's what keeps him from just watching random YouTube, brain rotting.
Yes. Thankfully, we have not crossed the YouTube Rubicon to the endless pit that is children's entertainment over there.
Smart.
That said, the worst things that my daughter watches are zombies on Disney.
Okay.
Watches, what's the other one? The other one is Zombies and
Descendants.
Yeah, it's Descendants.
Yeah,
Thank you very much. And also, she for some reason she watches the crappy straight to video sequels that have come out in the 80s, and they're now streaming on Disney Plus. It's all about like Aladdin 2, and I'm like, this is not a good movie.
Yeah. Okay. So
at least we're structurally there.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Beginning, middle,
and end. And so I'm, working or whatever, and he's watching these shows, and some of them, they're cute. They're better than what we had. And there's this pretty funny one called Henry Danger. And it's it's like a kid, a Superman situation where he, nobody knows that he really is the sidekick of this Captain Man and this whole thing. So we're at the basketball court, and my little kid boy stepson can be very shy. With strangers. And he goes, lady, because, he calls me lady, that's Captain Man from Henry Danger pushing his kid over. And I go, are you serious? And I go, did you say anything to him? Which, of course, the answer is no. But he goes, yeah, I did. I go, what'd you say? And he goes, I went over to him and I just said, best show ever. And I was like, I'm so proud of you.
All right.
And the guy said, hey, thanks. So the rest of the day at the park was just him orbiting the guy.
Sure.
Just
you want to be around him.
Yeah. And me going, well, go over there and take a pic. No, stop embarrassing me. No, he's going to kill himself and I go, honey, it's fine. In fact, this is where I pull my card because, you and I are very famous, known the world over. But I'll say, remember when, that woman came up to me at the park and I gave her a picture and we talked, or at Universal, and they said, oh my, you just do it. You're just nice. He's not going to say anything mean to you or reject you. Of course he's going to do it. So I finally convinced him this was the fruits of that labor.
Oh, tell me the guy backhanded him.
He kicked him right in the ass, took his milk money. This is Captain Man from Henry Danger, and it was very exciting. And
that's a sweet celebrity setting for a kid.
It was great. It was really, really good. And then we got home and Super Bowl, and the rest is history. So, strong weekend.
I was going to say packed. Speaking of packed, would you welcome our guests into the show?
Yes. And before we do that, I have to just take a quick break and put on my better jewelry because it's a guest and we want to make sure that we look our best. So let me go grab my Alex and Ani. Hey, everybody. What's up? It's Gina Grad. And when you're searching for the perfect piece of jewelry, it can be hard to find a brand you trust. Alex and Ani has been creating meaningful jewelry for over 20 years, designing pieces that connect you with all of life's important moments. With an emphasis on value, there is truly something for everyone. They've recently launched their everyday collection. I could not love it more. These pieces are made from stainless steel and an advanced water-resistant plating method that doesn't tarnish. It has the look of real gold. It's beautiful. I love these pieces because they feel so classic, but they have so much versatility. Alex and Ani are also featuring some gorgeous pieces that I have right here, like Black Lotus, this gorgeous Black Lotus charm necklace, and their Stay Wild pendant, and their Wings of Protection necklace that have a classic and vintage feel. See that? And of course, you can't forget their signature bangle bracelets, which I'm also wearing. And I have a lot of their stuff. I have the numerology bracelets. I have the hula dancer to commemorate a meaningful trip I took to Hawaii. From classic to bold statement pieces, Alex and Ani makes it easy to sprinkle your personality into each piece or make a truly meaningful gift for someone you care about. Meanwhile, you can take comfort in knowing that you're shopping with a socially conscious brand, as Alex and Ani has donated over $60 million to nonprofits worldwide, connecting fashion and philanthropy in an easy, fun, affordable way. Right now, Alex and Ani is offering our audience 20% off. So check their gorgeous collection out at alexandani.com and use the promo code MIDAS. That's MEIDAS at alexandani.com. Use that promo code at checkout for 20% off your order. Come and get something beautiful. Okay, now let's welcome our guest, Jasmin Rosemberg. I'm so excited. We are back with Jasmin Rosemberg, very exciting deputy editor of LA Magazine. And I mean, that would have been enough, Dianu, but no. She has essays in the New York Times and Variety and Lena Dunham's Lenny Letter, which I love, and a novel, Oh Nothing, How the Other Half Hamptons. Jasmin, thank you so much for being here.
Of course. No, this has been very exciting. I wrote a novel about the Hamptons, and that's what brought me to LA originally. That came out in about 2008. So I optioned it for television. It had about 9 lives. Kelly Riho is doing it most recently for Freeform. But you know what? It brought me to LA, and I've been sort of back and forth for about 15 years now.
That's amazing that something based on the Hamptons would bring you to LA, and your reasoning is sound. It makes sense.
Absolutely. But it was very nice to sort of dive right in. I worked at LA Confidential. I worked at Modern Luxury. I was at Variety, covered a lot of food and dining, a lot of culture and arts and entertainment, running award season and premieres. So right now at LA Magazine, it's so nice to be able to bring all of that to the table.
So, Jasmin, before we get into the food writing and Giada and all the food event and all stuff, just because I'm a 49ers fan, so I'm hurting today. It's the day after the Super Bowl. The salt's in the wounds just being rubbed around. Just how long after you wrote your book did it get optioned by the network?
It had a couple false starts. I had optioned it to Fox and to
God damn it.
People. So it's been a long time running. But yeah, I mean, I think I've had 3 different film and TV deals in the last 10 years. So nothing.
Bryan, how about you?
Congratulations. I'm really happy for you.
Bryan, how about you?
Oh, it's been 10 years and not a nibble.
Okay.
For my best-selling memoir about cheating death. But who's keeping track?
Well, you never know. And what's so funny is people ask me, I'm working on another book right now. If you give me the option, I'm a writer. If you're like, do you want a best-selling TV show or do you want a book? I have nothing to think about. So I just, focus on the best products that you can make. And sometimes Hollywood bites and sometimes it takes a while, but it is.
Sometimes it does.
Yeah. I love covering authors though. That's something I really try to focus on in the magazine, is because I feel like once a project is developed, the authors kind of cut out and nobody really cares. So we've done a lot with book adaptations. We did Killers of the Flower Moon, where we had actual photos from the book. So we did that. We did we have something actually coming out in our next issue, which I don't know if I'm allowed to talk about, but it's a Leanne Moriarty project. that's coming out next month, Apples Never Fall. And we have one of the stars from that. So as much as I can highlight authors, that's always a big Initiative of mine.
That's
nice. Bryan, hopefully yours will be up there at some point too.
Fingers crossed.
Well, and Bryan, I think Jasmin said it best, which sometimes Hollywood bites and sometimes Hollywood bites.
Yeah, Hollywood really bites. So Jasmin, you were at the Best New Restaurants event. Am I getting that correct?
Yes. So this was our January issue with Giada on the cover. We had a lovely cover story, which I wrote. I got to sit down with her. And we also honored our Best New Restaurants that opens in 2023. So this was a great issue.
Yeah, it was a great event. We were both there. We must have missed you amongst the 600 people that were there.
I wonder how that happened.
But it was so good. And there were so many cool. Had you been to any of the restaurants in person?
Yes. And I will run you through those. But what's something really cool that we did in this issue is that, previously they just had that food feature, but we had our normal every month we have an eat section. Mm-hmm. So we decided to do that as well in this issue. So it gave us an opportunity to cover even more restaurants and more people that, were then able to participate in this event. So it was just like a great celebration overall of, some of the best new restaurants and then like some of the older restaurants, because we actually had to turn people away, which was kind of crazy because we had so many people that wanted to be involved in this.
Oh my God.
Wow.
But we had 25 restaurants. So some of my favorites, and then I want to hear what you guys thought. Bar Chalou was, a big deal when it opens in Pasadena. It's Chef Doug Rankin, who came from Tuamek. And so Eater did a list this year of their favorite restaurants, like the best restaurants that opened all over the country. And this was the only one from LA, to give you an idea of just the sensation that this restaurant was. And it's very vegetable forward. They do have a rainbow trout, if you go in there, that I really love, but it's very vegetable forward. He did his carrot dish with peanuts and potatoes, and he was there himself, Doug, who was just talking to everyone. So that was definitely...
Bryan, I was just telling Bryan, there was a couple carrot dishes at the event, and I said, it takes some real chutzpah to come say, here's a carrot, come try our restaurant. And those were among my favorite. They were delicious.
Indeed.
I love that. Well, the other carrot one that I think you're talking about is at Ardor West Hollywood, which is an older restaurant. It wasn't in our package because it had opened, before 2023. But I have been a really big fan of the chef, John Fraser. He's also very vegetable forward. If you guys like fresh vegetable dishes, it's at the West Hollywood Edition Hotel. So he served that. And also they have a famous milk bread. I don't know if you tried that with...
yeah.
You
cannot forget. Before Bryan could answer, do you want some? I just shoved it into his mouth. It was incredible.
It was
that was like a mini version. Yeah.
Incredible. Bryan and I just gave our favorites, but among them were Uchi and Dee and Donna. And
I love Donna because we went as a team, like about 4 of us from the magazine went to Echo Park, and that's a really hard reservation right now.
Oh, wow.
And it kind of was one, like usually PR firms will pitch us these restaurants, but that was one that was really word of mouth that grew and grew and grew. It's modeled after like an East Coast red sauce joint. So I was a little surprised when I saw what they chose to serve because I was picturing, their pastas, their chicken parm, like that's what they're known for. But this was like a salmon mousse cannoli that I thought was just so fabulous.
They took a big swing. We loved it.
Yeah, that was on my list of my top favorites. It was so unexpected and so delightful. I was like, I don't know how this is going to go. And I tasted it and I'm like, oh, it's going really well.
Absolutely. And then some other ones that were on our best restaurant list. Casalenia it's a Mediterranean restaurant in Woodland Hills.
That was one of my favorites.
Yes. And so I feel like, people on our team went back like multiple times. It was a pasta and a vodka sauce, like a shell. Yep. So that was really great.
That was great.
Charcoal Sunset. So that's Chef Josiah Citron, who's like a famous, like 2 Michelin starred chef. He's got Melise, Dear John's. He's got Charcoal
Bryan's favorite.
Dear John's is not too far from our house where I live, and that's a place we go probably more often than not.
Yeah. And so he did his famous cabbage dish, which again, we actually highlighted that in the magazine. That was our section opener one month. And we had a big cabbage. I mean, people are probably thinking cabbage, really? But that's actually like one of his famous dishes. He does everything on live fire. And he had lamb too. So people really loved that. And then
I think Espelette was the other one that I highlighted as being one of my favorites.
Yeah. So what I really love about that restaurant at the Waldorf, Chef Steve Benjamin took over for Jean-Georges when he left. But he had been there like the whole time with him. And now he's really shining. They were at our last food events as well, but that's always a favorite of mine. Here he did like the beef tartare, with truffle, the cone. Yeah. And then they had like a fun truffle dessert, but that's definitely a favorite one of mine as well. Lavo, speaking of like pastas Italian, Lavo is from New York. I'm from New York too, so I'm kind of always partial to the New York brands. But like at our last event they have these like famous like giant meatballs, like it's one big meatball. And so last time they did their meatballs, but this time they did something a little bit different. They had their grilled octopus, which I thought was great. And they had these mini, so that chocolate layer cake with peanut butter. I don't know if you tried that.
Oh, we did.
That's another of their signature dishes. So I was so surprised to see that. And they were such cute little servings.
Here's how good it was. I remember Gina talking to you while we were tasting it. Octopus is one of my least favorite foods, just texture-wise, and even the taste is neither here nor there. It was so good. I actually finished the whole thing. I was like, this is great.
Okay, I'll tell you how good I thought it was. After I lived in Greece for a short time, people are drawing octopi in the doorways, very used to eating it, not a problem. After that effing documentary, My Octopus Teacher, I couldn't eat it anymore. And I also ate my entire portion of the one.
You ate that genius crustacean. Well, that's right, that genius mollusk. That's right.
So it was that good. I put my principles on a shelf so I could finish that because it was so good.
Wow. And then did you try some cocktails or wine or?
I tried a few.
Oh, we did actually. We did
a mezcal shot together.
Mezcal drink. Yeah, that. And there was, I grabbed one of the, it was either tequila or mezcal. I think it was mezcal that was served in the plastic coupes. I'm forgetting the name off the top of my head, but it was great. And then we did a mezcal shot that was really, really good.
Oh, it was really good. And I had the lemon martini. With a beautiful cocktail book with those beautiful illustrations.
Yes. Oh my gosh, that was really good. What was that?
The Casamigos Cristalino.
Yes.
That was it.
It was just the whole event. And that's why I was saying before you came on, I got so many comments from people saying, oh, I wish I lived in LA. This is something you make a special trip for. This is something you fly in for. This event is something you fly in for.
Absolutely. Well, my favorite cocktail, so Dante at the Mayborn Beverly Hills, that's like a world famous bar. They've won awards for North America. So they came here. It's this Australian couple that brought it here. And they're known for their Negronis. Like they've won cocktail awards. And so they had a chocolate Negroni, which was I got to try, which was great. But if you go there, they have a Negroni cart at the restaurant. And this month they're doing a special. They're doing a collaboration with bars in Mexico City. So it's this pop-up event. And each week it's a different famous bar from Mexico City. So if you go Monday to Wednesday for the entire month of February, you can try some of these amazing bars.
Oh,
that's fantastic.
You know what? You just from your description, Jasmine, I'm pretty sure I've been there. It's in Beverly Hills, right? It's in Beverly Hills, right?
Yes, in Beverly Hills in the Mayborn Hotel.
Is there a restaurant next door or something?
Next door to the Mayborn?
No. Sorry. The way it's set up, if I remember correctly, there's a bar and then you walk through a hallway to go to a restaurant.
Yes.
I've been there.
Oh, yeah. Did you like it?
Yeah, of course. It's really good.
It's very transporting. And in New York, it's more of a bar, but here it's a restaurant. I think it's one of the most exciting things that have opened in the last year. But definitely their drinks, get the Negroni. Any of their cocktails are great.
It was such a wonderful event, and something we kept saying is, I'm a little bit of a homebody. I don't go out every, Wednesday like a Rockefeller, like Bryan and his wife do.
Indeed.
So for me to be able to try 25 restaurants in one night and be able to tell you exactly what their best dish is was worth everything.
Absolutely. No, it was so nice to see so many of our restaurants. And then like some others that were on our list, we had a casual section, because there's so many, it's hard to evaluate fine dining versus casual. So we had a couple from like our casual section, which was like Thai Central Cuisine and Saucy Chick Goat Mafia. So it was sort of nice to have those alongside. Atla Venice was another one that was honored in our top 10. It's a Mexican from, a famous chef who has Damian in downtown LA. So it was really nice to have them participate. And Bar is a new Indian restaurant in downtown LA. We, our office is in downtown LA, so we kind of like the your
hometown crew. The only restaurant I have to say unequivocally I was incredibly disappointed in was Mr. T, because by the time I got there, theirs was closed.
Oh no!
I was I know you thought I was going to.
Was that the one at the end? It was like closing up shop,
and I was so excited for Mr. T, and I said, "Oh, it's our fault. We walked too slow and we ate too much, so we didn't get to that end." And I heard it was awesome.
Well, you know what? My very good friend does the PR, and I'm sure she would love to have you in. And I'm going to tell you what to order there. So
thank you.
It comes from Paris. That the brand comes from Paris.
Yeah.
And they have it's kind of like an elevated take on Parisian street food. They play rap music, like old school rap music. It's just such a fun vibe. But they have a special mac and cheese that they torch. They'll come around, and that's like to die for. So Gina, I'm gonna set you up, and you'll have to report back on what you think of the mac and cheese.
Thank you. Sometimes it pays to be the squeaky wheel, Brian.
I like mac and cheese. I like mac and cheese too. I don't know why Gina's getting up the love here.
That's awesome.
And then like a couple other ones, we had Loretto, which was in our top 10, and that's like in Frogtown, and it's amazing. Mexican from the La Cha-Cha-Cha people. We had Zuntos, which was also in our issue Spanish. I don't know if you guys got to try that. There was like a mussel. It was a skewer.
We didn't. Yeah. The line was too long. Did you?
Oh, was that the one we skipped?
Yeah, I did try that one. And that was very good.
Well, apparently everyone else thought so too, because that was like, oh, we got to keep moving. We can't wait.
And then Jose Andres has two concepts in the Conrad. So this was his fine dining one, San Laurel, that came in. It was a leek dish, and it was amazing. But yes, very, very excited about him. And
having been to the bazaar years ago, and it's just an amazing experience. I was explaining to Gina at the event, like, not who Jose was, but he does really interesting things to food, and it did not disappoint.
Well, he's actually coming back. We had that's actually his little head right here. But we have this coming attraction section in the issue, so people can look forward. He has Bizarre Meat, which is coming back. Oh. But like you said, he had Bizarre, I think it was it the
SLS?
The SLS in 2008. So this is his big sort of return with the Bizarre brand. So that's something everyone can look forward to.
I'm so out of the game, Jasmine. Is the Bizarre gone?
It's gone, but it's coming back. And he does have this weather.
It was a real phenomenon, back in 08, whatever it was. It was a hard ticket to get. That was a really popular restaurant.
Absolutely. And then just so you guys know, Danielle Baloud is opening Cafe Baloud soon in the Mandarin Oriental. And this is going to be his Big West debut. He's like a huge French chef in New York. So that'll be a huge one. Marissa Hermer, who has Olivetta in West Hollywood, is opening La Lu, which is going to be in the former Ago space. That's a big opening. Coming soon. So Medeo in West Hollywood. Do you remember there was the Medeo space for, I want to say it was over 80 years they've had this space, and it's now going to be Stella West Hollywood. And that's coming from Janet Zuccarini, who was kind of the one that started, Felix with Evan Funke, who's now the hottest chef in LA. So
indeed.
Absolutely. So those are some highlights that everyone can look forward to this year.
This is so exciting. And just to sort of piggyback onto this, obviously the Giada event was amazing. Brian got to go. I stayed home and cried. But next month, on March 12th, there's another pop-up, right, with Spike Mendelsohn?
I'm so excited about that. Yes, no, the Giada one was great. Brian, did you try the lemon spaghetti?
Oh, it was awesome. Yeah, there were a couple there were a couple lemon inspired dishes. It was a nice little through line for the whole meal. It was great.
Absolutely. So she's opening restaurants in Arizona. So she kind of was previewing, and she even said, like, tell me what you think. She had like her lemon pizza, and these are all dishes that you can get when she opens in Scottsdale. I want to say in April.
There is really nothing better than lemon. I mean, it is. I think it's underused. I applaud her for basing the entire evening around lemon spaghetti and shrimp. Sounds like the most decadent, wonderful thing ever created. But like anything that just can use a little bit of tang and brightness, it's like the perfect garnish. And I love that the whole night was centered around that.
Yeah, lemon ricotta cookies. But I think the pasta, she's known for her lemon spaghetti. So that was definitely, she had a big wheel of it, and she was serving it herself. Like, since when do you get to like be this close to Giada, who's serving you her food? So
yeah, she's swirling the pasta in the giant wheel of cheese.
Oh God, that sounds like a dream I had. Giada was there, and it was in the cheese, but she wasn't just sitting there, not wanting to get her hands dirty. She was in there and doing her thing. I mean, I saw all the videos. She could not have been more accessible and lovely seeming.
Exactly. So I'm excited for our next one.
Oh yeah.
Can you give us a preview of what we might expect from the Spike event?
Yeah, I don't know if you were fans of Spike's on Top Chef, but he was a contestant on Top Chef. I think it's going to be a little bit more casual, like pizza, burgers, like that type of thing.
Nice.
I got no problem with that.
Exactly. So that is happening. Let's see. Do we have the
March 12th?
Okay,
Tuesday, March 12th, 6 to 8:30. Tickets available at lamag.com. And if it's anything like Giada, don't wait to decide last minute if you're getting those tickets.
Yeah, no, I mean, a lot of our staff couldn't even come because, it's just sold out and everybody wanted to go. And so definitely want to come to that one. And it's nice because that's the bottom floor. It's the restaurant in our office building. So Engine Company, so they kind of transform that into a pop-up, and it's really festive and it's a great experience.
Yeah,
it's such a great idea. Jasmin, thank you so much for joining us and just
this is so fun.
Oh, we like that one thing with the red thing. You're like, no, okay, this is who you're talking about. Let me translate for the people. So thank you. This is, we can't wait to talk to you more. I mean, we didn't even get to talk to you about being a deputy editor and writing and all of the things about your personal life. So we hope that you'll come back and join us, and we can sort of highlight your sort of TED Talk.
Absolutely. Well, thank you. I hope we've made everyone sufficiently hungry.
Indeed. I'll see you on March 12th.
That's exactly right. Thank you so much. And thank you to everybody listening to the show. Of course, at Bald Bryan, at Gina Grad, across all social media. Like, subscribe, let people know we are still around, because people are still going, wait, you and Bryan? Where have you been? Did someone hit you with something heavy? Do you blink twice if you need us? So yes, Bryan and Gina Show, please join our community, and we can't wait to talk to you guys next week.
Thank you for listening to the Bryan and Gina Show. To get in touch with the hosts or buy their books, hit them up at Bald Bryan and at Gina Grad on Twitter and Instagram, or by email at podcasts@lamag.com. To get connected with LA Magazine, hit them up at LA Mag on Twitter and Instagram. Talk soon.